Hello, this is Anthony and welcome to Property MetriX. So in this video again, to continue the series on professional services you're likely to use, engage with when you are purchasing a property as a first-time buyer, I'm going to be talking about the conveyancer. So it's a very important service when you're purchasing a property. And just effectively think of the conveyancer as the property lawyer. So it's the it's a personal company you use to close the transaction. So they tie up the legals, the paperwork, they ensure that the title of the property is transferred from the seller to you, the buyer. So this is a very important service because with every property you're buying, you're going to need a legal professional to do the legal work for you. So that's effectively the overview of a conveyancer. They are the person who does the legal work or the work involved in transferring ownership of a property from the seller to the buyer. That's effectively the services they provide. And I think there are some key things I need to mention about a conveyancer because this is, in my opinion, the key service you need to make sure that you're getting a good person to do the legal work for your property. Because if you find a bad conveyancer, they could delay your transaction, they could make you miss deadlines. Just from experience, you just don't want a shoddy conveyancer. So I'll give you a story here. There was a property I was purchasing and got in contact with the conveyancer, said they were doing the legal work. Weeks, months to go by, you're thinking, okay, can I have an update? I'll call for an update. Hey, can you let me know where are we with the purchase? When's potential closing date? Never get an answer. Chase and chase and chase and chase and chase. You never get an answer. Send an email, no response. You just don't want to be in that situation because buying a property is stressful and nerve-wracking as it is. You don't really need a conveyancer to add even more stress to the process. So when you are buying a property, please get a conveyancer either from recommendation from somebody who's purchased a property and used that conveyancer before and can vouch for them. Make sure you check the reviews online, and make sure whoever you are finding is a good conveyancer, because having bought as many properties as I have and engaged with lots of different conveyancers, when they are bad, they can be quite stressful. So it's a must to always look for somebody to recommend a conveyancer to you. And if you don't have anyone who can recommend a conveyancer to you, please, please, please look at the reviews. Because yes, there are people who just rubbish a firm for no reason. Oh, that firm is rubbish, that person's crap. I get it. There are some people who just go and write silly reviews for no reason. But typically what you find is the reviews are a decent reflection of the service that people have got. So if you find lots of people giving the same type of reviews, either good or bad, it's probably an accurate reflection of the service that company provides. Another tip I want to give you when using a conveyancer is this. Please don't focus on price. You may see some conveyancers and you think, oh, well, this person's charging me £500 and the other person is charging me £1,000, so I'm going to go for the £500 service. Listen, with this service, you typically get the service you pay for. So if you are paying cheap for conveyancers, sometimes don't expect to get A-star service. My main conveyancer, the conveyancer that I've used for quite a while and quite a few of my transactions, their service is quite pricey. But actually, you pay for great service because you know what? When I pick up the phone, hey, can I have an update on the status of my transactions? Straight away. Within 10 minutes, I get a response. If I send an email, straight away, I get a response. I know what's happening. Brilliant. I've used some cheaper services, and let's just say they're not that smooth. So that's something to bear in mind. So I did briefly mention about conveyancing costs and charges. But in the next video, I'm going to break down in detail what conveyancers charge and a typical range with different parts of the country, a typical range in different parts of the country, and some tips for how you could effectively reduce the cost of your conveyancer. So I hope you found that video informative. So just to summarize, a conveyancer is a key professional service you're likely to use when purchasing a property. And a conveyancer is a person that, and a conveyancer is a person or company who's typically, a conveyancer is a person or company who completes the legal work involved in transferring ownership of a property. So when you're buying a property, the conveyancer will do all the legals to get you to the point where you can transfer contract and ownership between the buyer and the seller. So that's really the way to think of a conveyancer. Property solicitor, they used to be called, but the term nowadays is just conveyancer. I hope you found that video useful, as a useful introduction into the professional services that you're likely to engage with. And I hope that kind of give you an insight into what you should be looking for when you are looking to purchase your first property, and just some good hints and tips about, how you go about finding the right people to make sure your property process is as smooth as possible. Okay, hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Anthony here. Bye bye. Catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.